People don't always like the Aliner stove. Now this is the outside stove. It attaches to the side of the trailer, and I love it. It hooks up the gas underneath there, and I've made it so it doesn't fall over. It used to be it fell down, but I put some nails, drilled some holes in it and put some nails through either side so I can set these way out, and it's blocks the wind. But I like the Aliner stove. You can also set that in on top of the fridge. It sets on top of the fridge, and there's a gas port down there where the box is, the priority mail box is. So that's not bad. You could cook inside. I don't like cooking inside. I have a couple times in the pouring rain, but I want to show you a couple of other stoves that are good camp stoves. One of my most favorite stoves is this little guy. It's called a Svea stove, S-V-E-A. It's Swedish, and it's an all-in-one stove. This is the entire stove. This is a little thing to boil water in, and it's got little arms up here that come out, and then it's got a little jet engine burner. But the thing about this stove, and this is over 40 years old at least. And the way this is supposed to work is you're supposed to hold this in your hand. It's a brass copper stove. Better put this back on. You hold it in your hand till it warms up, and that causes the gas to expand. And when the gas expands a little bit, you turn this on, and the gas will come out the top. And if you can see this, it's got a little tiny ring right around here. That fills with gas, and then you light that. Now, a lot of people say lighting gas isn't a safe thing, but this stove is the Swiss Army's stove, and it's a great stove. And let me see if I can show you how that works. I'm going to cheat just a little. I'm going to warm it up with a little fire here. It's warmed up, and the gas goes down here, and then you turn it off, because all you're getting out of it is liquid gas. You don't want that. We're going to put the windsock back on here, windscreen, then we'll light the gas, and that's the gas, and it's heating up the burner, which will then vaporize the real gas that comes out of it. Now this whole thing gets hot. That's one of the downsides of it. If you use it in snow and you put it in snow or water or anything like that, it goes right out, because it's got to be warm to burn. So as a winter stove, it works great once you got it lit and warmed up. And that's the stove. Now it's got a little bit of gas down on the bottom still that it has to burn out, but that's like a little jet engine there. That burns incredibly hot, and it'll boil this from ice. You fill this with snow and set it on there. It's supposed to have a little handle for it too. But I've cooked pancakes and eggs and all sorts of things on that little stove when these are out. it's a little touchy with the wind. When you're done with it, you just turn it off. And let it cool down. You can douse it with water or something if you want to cool it down faster. Now the other stove I wanted to show you was this stove. And this is about these stoves, it's not really too hot, but the other thing about this is a SVEA, S-V-E-A. S is in Sam, E is in Echo, A is in Auto, and there's a V, SV. This is also known as a Optimist or a Primus, or there's a whole bunch of stoves in the old days from this. Now the other thing that there is this is called a Dragonfly, and they come in, this is also a gas stove. I don't like propane bottled stoves. It's just wasteful. And you've always got gas, and some of these, this comes out and it pops all over the place and sets up. And there's the stove. And what you do with this is you got to have a gas bottle. Let me zoom out a little bit. So there's the stove all set up. Big stove. You can put a little tiny pot or a great big pot on it. It's the same type of burner as this one has. And it works the same kind of way. But this is a very modern stove. This is the on and off switch. Make sure that works. But the way this works is you get your gas bottle like this, and this is a backpack gas bottle. And it's MSR, goes with the stove. The stove is MSR. But you have a little part of the stove goes in here like this. Now this is complicated. It takes a while to learn all this stuff. This goes in here like this. And you gotta get this in here. Like that. And then this screws on. You gotta get it on there right. This screws on like that. And then you can pump it up. The other one you have to heat to get pressure in it. This one you pump up to get pressure in it. And then you hook it onto this. How do we hook this on like that? Goes in like this. I guess it's got to go like this. As I said, these are backpacking stoves. Get in there. How do I get you in there? Why won't you go in there? Oh, because you're old. Ugh. And then that clips on there like this to make sure it stays in there. And then if you're like me and you're a little chicken, but like the other one, you let out a little gas. And once it warms up, now because the gas is over here and the flame is over there, this doesn't get too warm, and you got to pump it once in a while. But it's got two valves. This is a valve, one valve, and that's another valve. So you got to keep them going. Oops. There we go. So that's the dragonfly. There's another one called a whisper light. The whisper light works on bottles. I don't like bottles. I like real gas. Doesn't cost hardly anything. I'm using the same gallon of Coleman fuel that I used in 1980. It lasts forever. It burns like crazy. Can't hurt the stove. And I could use it in my car if I had to. Turn that off here, and then I'll turn it off here. All the gas will be out of the lines, hopefully, and it won't spill all over the place when I unhook it. But this is a nice stove because it does have a lot of adjustment on your heat. This one over here does not adjust very well because it really relies on being really hot. And if you adjust it, then it cools down and it doesn't work quite as well. Now I got one more stove for you though. Hang on. Another kind of stove I like is for the intrepid backpacker that wants to save weight. Is that thing, and that's called a cat stove. C-A-T, cat, because it's made out of a cat food can. Take a cat food can and you punch holes around it. A regular hole punch, like you use for paper, will go right through these cans, no problem. This is, it weighs nothing, and for fuel, you use alcohol. Alcohol you can buy at Walmart or any grocery store, or, well, not every grocery store, but most hardware stores and a whole lot of pharmacies, drugstores, chemists will have denatured alcohol. And now you take some of this, I'm going to do my little thing there, and all you do is pour it in there. And about, I don't know, quarter cup will last about 30 minutes, I think. And then you just light it. And alcohol burns fairly invisible, so you gotta kind of make sure it's lit, putting your hand over it. And as the cat stove gets warm, it will cause the alcohol to boil, and it will actually force it out the sides of those holes. Now we're covering the full top so that it's all the gas is coming out the sides, and that looks underneath just like a regular gas stove. You know how the jets come out of the side of a gas stove burner. And we'll leave this, and I'll bet in less than 5 minutes that's boiling the water in that kettle. Meantime, I'll clean up the rest of this. That was all done by that little tiny cat stove. And that's the sweetest deal in the world. Now the only problem is that this cools off pretty quick. But that's pretty neat, in my opinion. I like that a whole lot. I made about 4 of those, and I put them with my camping equipment where I would not forget where they were, and I've forgotten where they were. That's the way things are.